Welcome to the Crypto Campfire. The Loch Ness Monster believes in them, Mitch and the Professor. Featuring special guest, Nick from Hodl Fuel.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Crypto Campfire podcast. This is the Professor.
This is Mitch.
This is going to be episode number 10. So today with us, we've got Nick. He's the founder of Hodl Fuel Coffee. Before we start talking to Nick, we're going to listen to a little bit of crypto news from the Crypto Gent.
Thanks, Professor. Hello, Crypto Campfire listeners, and welcome to the cryptocurrency news in a flash with a Crypto Gent. AT&T is the first American telecommunications company to accept cryptocurrency payments through BitPay. Crypto markets up slightly over the last day. Alibaba to use blockchain. Coinbase accepts DAI payments. Film company Proxima secures $100 million investment for cryptocurrency projects. It's been the cryptocurrency news in a flash with a Crypto Gent. Thanks for listening, Crypto Campfire listeners. Back to you, Professor.
Thanks a lot, Crypto Gent. All right, Nick, so you're the founder of Hodl Fuel Coffee. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, kind of give us a background on what you're doing in the crypto space, and I'm kind of curious to hear how you got into the coffee business.
Thank you guys for having me on. So Hodl Fuel, I'm the founder of Hodl Fuel, which is a coffee brand in the cryptocurrency space. I initially started back in cryptocurrency in 2016, got into it, got out of it, forgot about it, got back into the space in 2017. And I really, I got into it hardcore at that point, really trying to learn and understand about cryptocurrency and money and how that all works. And I've always been a big coffee lover. And I saw an opportunity for me to scratch my entrepreneurial itch and start a brand that I'm hoping can get out there and relay the message of Bitcoin and start conversations and, give people a good product as well and be a pro cryptocurrency business in the space.
Beautiful. So have you been in the coffee business before, or was it just kind of a unique thing that you kind of happened into?
No, a few years back, I sort of had an idea to start a coffee business, but the niche that I was sort of looking at the time was pretty saturated with people doing it. So I just kind of dismissed the idea. But I've kind of always wanted to start a business. And I came home from work one night. I have a full-time job and I was laying in bed and I was like, hey, this might be a good idea. Like this is sort of a culmination of, everything I enjoy: freedom, cryptocurrency, starting a business, creativity, and most importantly to, be an ambassador in the space for cryptocurrency. So
awesome.
Excellent. Heck yeah. That's great. So when you decided to get into crypto, when was that? How long have you been into cryptocurrencies?
So there's a podcast I've been listening to for probably close to 10 years now called the Survival Podcast. And it's a podcast that's focused on sort of self-sufficient lifestyles, that freedom, independence, being able to take care of yourself type thing. And it covers a whole, vast amount of topics. And one of the topics that, was covered before was cryptocurrency. And, I really didn't know a lot about it, but it kind of got to the point where I was, all right, I got a little extra money from, I started a side business doing landscaping and paid off all my equipment pretty fast. And, I was like, hey, I'll try to buy some of this Bitcoin stuff. So I logged on to Coinbase and kind of figured it out, worked through it. And, I bought my first Bitcoins I think they were around $500 or so at the time. But nice. I'll be honest, initially when I got into it, I didn't know anything about it, maybe like a lot of people. And I was really just kind of doing it for short-term gains. I really didn't have any long-term ambitions with cryptocurrency. So I got out of it completely and didn't get back into it until 2017 when a friend of mine had told me, Bitcoin had hit, some crazy number. So at that point, I was kind of kicking myself in the butt, and I got back into it hardcore at that point. So
nice. It's about the same timing for me. I kind of first started touching Bitcoin in 2016, and it was on a real small scale with a little miner that I had gotten on trade, and forgot about it until 2017, until the big run in November. So yeah, right there with you.
Now, a lot more people know about it. So.
Oh yeah, and then it's still only a small fraction. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, it is crazy how small the community really is right now, but it's growing every day.
It is. There's you see people with accounts with 25,000, 27,000, 95,000 followers, and you're like, wow, where are all these people at? Because I only see about a couple hundred at the most, and it's just weird. It seems when you get into the rabbit hole on Twitter, the space is so deep, but yet, like you say, it's really small in comparison.
For sure.
It's
There's a
not
lot
how
of layers
small it actually is. Yeah, a lot of layers.
And they're all kind of isolated from each other in their own way. So
That's very true. Very true.
Like a bunch of onions.
the crypto onion.
Yeah, the crypto onion.
So Nick, I got to admit, I haven't bought any of your coffee yet. So what kind of things do you offer? Do you have like a pretty big range of flavors?
So right now I offer a few different single origin coffees, and let's see, I think I have a Colombia, Nicaragua. I had a Honduras, I dropped that. Let's see here, Brazil, a couple others, but basically just single origins right now. But they're all they're all pretty good in my opinion. So
nice. I'm looking forward to it. I can't get enough of coffee. So
you got any espresso blends?
Not yet.
Oh, all right. Well, call me when you do, because that's what I'm buying.
Sounds good.
I love an espresso blend, man. You got to have a good espresso to go in your coffee. That little shot.
Absolutely.
So, what's your favorite token, Nick?
Token?
If you had to pick one, what's your favorite token?
Token or cryptocurrency?
Token. My next question would be, what's your favorite blockchain?
To be perfectly honest with you, tokens are not something that I'm well versed in. I'm really
okay.
I'm really big on Bitcoin, Litecoin, Digibyte. Some of the privacy coins. That's sort of where I'm coming from as far as my involvement in cryptocurrency, because I really want to see it, used as currency in the future, as maybe a supplement or maybe a replacement to modern fiat systems. So that's sort of my focus at this point.
Fair enough.
So you mentioned privacy coins. What is there any particular one you're kind of into? Or are you more of a Monero guy or Verge or something different?
Monero. There's
okay.
so many of them now; it's hard to keep up with them all. But yeah, that's the old boy on the block.
Yeah, that's the old school, if you will, on the privacy coin. So I'm a fan. So going back a little bit, how did you discover crypto Twitter? Were you on Twitter before and then you just kind of started doing crypto, or did you show up in crypto Twitter for that reason, or what was that like for you?
So I'd never been on Twitter before. I'm trying to remember. I want to say it was winter of 2018. Maybe I got back into it right around the time when I started buying back into Bitcoin and Litecoin. I would say I probably got on there, but yeah, that was sort of an interesting. Wow, crypto Twitter. It's a cool place, but wow,
it's a strange
it's
place
crazy.
too, though.
But I've met some of the coolest people, and I'm really happy to say that I've made some great friends off of Twitter that I've met in real life too, at these meetups and conferences, and it's definitely a great resource, and it's a great community to go and make friends and learn. So there's definitely a lot of good there for sure.
Absolutely, connections are so much easier or so much more easily made on Twitter, it seems. I've always been into trying to network a little bit and make connections and that kind of stuff. But yeah, until I discovered crypto Twitter, it was not really accelerating at any sort of a pace. And then you hit Twitter and it's like, bam, all of a sudden you're connected with everybody and you can just get stuff
I didn't
done.
even know about it. I'm
it.
trying to remember like what prompted me to get on there. And I think because I'm new to business, I was learning about business, and one of the recommendations was, get on Instagram, get on Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. But I had no idea about crypto Twitter. I didn't even know that was a thing at the time. So I'm really glad I discovered it.
Heck yeah. Crypto Twitter's been my sole resource for sanity when it comes to cryptocurrencies. I've spent a lot of time on there since probably late December. When I first got into crypto, it was one of those things somebody said, man, you got to get onto Twitter. You got to follow this guy, follow that guy, you know. And before then, I was never big on social media. I mean, I think I'd only been in Facebook for a few months before I got into crypto. And so my social media experience or repertoire wasn't very versed at all. But then, you know, I got into Twitter, and I don't know, man, it's been a riot. I've had a lot of fun. And I think that it's unique to be around a center space, or I should say a center hub, where everybody that has the same belief system when it comes to cryptocurrencies all come together. You know, we all have that same passion or that same drive, maybe not the same reasoning behind it for everybody, but at the end, we're all into crypto, right?
Absolutely. And it's amazing how everyone is so connected all over the world to kind of move this mission forward on the internet. So it's awesome.
Heck yeah. You know, you're not judged by your skin color. You're not judged by your appearance. You know, those things are hidden. So you really get to know the person behind all that facade that you normally would have predisposition judgment based on appearance, really. You know, I mean, and to not have that conflict with your mind and just meet the person. Yes. And all over the world. I mean, you're talking to people in Australia, you know, Afghanistan. I mean, everywhere in the world, you know, Germany, Russia. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And I think you bring up a good point. One of the things I've noticed at some of the meetups and conferences that I've been able to go to is the diversity of people is just all over the board. Like, I know there's sort of if you Google it, you know, the average cryptocurrency investor is a 34-year-old male and, you know, whatever. But the people I'm seeing at these meetups and stuff, they're all over the place. I mean, you got, you know, young kids, you know, older folks and everything in between. So it's really exciting to see a space that's, you know, so inviting to so many different, you know, demographics.
Oh, for sure. You know, the diversity, like you said, you hit the word on the head right there. Diversity is definitely what crypto Twitter is about. Absolutely. It's crazy.
And the diversity extends beyond, you know, just physical or nationality traits, you know, as well, because the skill set diversity or you know, the background diversity of these people is so far spread out. Yes. You know, like if you're in some sort of like a programming type of community or something specific like that, you know, you kind of have that one type of person. Even if you're spread out all across the world, you're still kind of a similar mindset. But in this space, you have business masterminds, and you have software development and engineering masterminds, and you have financial masterminds, and you have everybody in between, and then you have the totally opposite of that, and you have, you know, the beginners and even kids. You know, it just spans so many people. It's just kind of cool. And so you can start interacting and then start building those skill sets together. And that's why some of these projects are so incredible, is because they have so many different people from so many different backgrounds and skill sets working together to put something out there. And it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And
yes, I agree.
Going off of that, that's something I've sort of noticed since I started Hodl Fuel is like, I've had people reach out to me from all different backgrounds and help, you know, offer to help and have, you know, Johnny Litecoin, who you just interviewed, he helped me get set up with, you know, how to accept cryptocurrency payments. I wouldn't have had a clue how to do that. You know, I found artists in the community that are helping me design, you know, do designs for labels and t-shirts and all sorts of cool stuff. So yeah, it's a great community.
Everybody seems so supportive of one another. You know, it's almost like the spots that you have a weak spot in, somebody steps into the plate and takes up that space and fills that void for you. And you can do the same for them in different ways, you know, and that's the real key part to working together, you know. And like the professor said, everybody's so diverse. You got this guy who's a plumber, you got white collar workers, blue collar workers, stay at home moms, you know, people that just are enjoying their crypto life right now. And so all that coming together as one is where the uniqueness comes in, I think.
Couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. And I wish people outside of the cryptocurrency community could see it, because, you know, I'm sure you guys have ran into this too. When you talk to new people about it, at least one of the typical reactions I get is like, oh, that's that internet money that criminals use, or, that evil Bitcoin. And if they only knew like the real community that's pushing this movement, man, like it would change a lot of tunes, I think, and cryptocurrency would be a lot further along than it already is.
Right. If you could take everybody and put them into a corral of crypto Twitter. I say corral because there's a lot of things that I would want to leave out.
Yeah, for sure.
Crypto Twitter is not an all beautiful space.
For sure.
But if you could put these people in crypto Twitter for a day, just for no other reason than so they could just see that it's not only like the cartel, I mean,
exactly.
That's what they think. And until they can see something different, because right now they don't see it in real life. It's only on the internet, or, they don't physically see these things. It's not like a new car that's driving around like a Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
They understand the concept of a Tesla because they see it. A lot of people can use it and visually see it's being used. But a Bitcoin is different. There might be people all around you using Bitcoin, but 99% of them aren't going to be advertising it out loud or trying to talk to you about it because they're just, a normal person using their Bitcoin, and they're not trying to teach the world right now. And so all they get is that exposure from the media, and media loves drama. So, and until adoption becomes more prominent and there's more and more Bitcoin ATMs and businesses accepting Bitcoin and things like that, where they see it, it's just only ever going to be that little bit of fantasy world that the media has built for them.
Yep, absolutely.
So, Nick, going a little bit deeper, you had posted a video the other day about finding your why.
I did.
And now that's definitely a really interesting concept and a very important concept. And like on our interview with John McAfee the other day and Janice, the point was brought up about if you're not doing what you love, you're not going to succeed, and you must be doing what you love. So how, in your opinion, does finding your why coincide to finding what you love? And what is your why if you found it yet?
Oh boy, this is going to be a little bit deep. So there's so many things. Sometimes it's hard for me to articulate what's going on inside my head. So as far as my why, there's a lot of reasons why I believe in cryptocurrency. There's a lot of reasons why I believe in trying to start your own business. So as far as business goes, I think there's a lot to be said for working for other people to build their dreams. And then I think there's a lot to be said for, working for yourself to build your dreams. And with myself, I've always kind of had that itch to start a business and create something of my own. I would like to think I'm a pretty creative person, and starting a business is just sort of, it's an outlet for creative people to, build something that they're passionate about. I love coffee, and it really coincided well with, cryptocurrency, and that, I really believe long-term cryptocurrency is going to bring a lot more freedom and independence to people around the world. And without getting too much into that, coffee to me is just been, some of the best memories of my life. When I think back on it, I've always, had a cup of coffee in my hand, and, I've been around family and friends and, people I love and care about. So being able to take a product like that, that's always been sort of a part of my life, even from, just the comfort aspect, and to be able to push the mission as I see it in cryptocurrency, just sort of made sense. And then, it allows me to sort of build a business for myself as well. So it was sort of a combination of all these things. I hope that's kind of making sense. It's a lot.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. It's really cool when you can make a business out of something that actually means something to you, so that you can, it's not always about making the money, but it's about being able to support yourself on while doing something that you love. So that's really cool that you've been able to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, coffee makes sense to me because, it's a great conversation starter. People have been drinking it for a long time. And it's really like, it goes across all cultures and sort of boundaries. Like, it's consumed really worldwide. So, a perfect example of, what I'm trying to do. I had a friend that I finally guilted into buying a bag of my coffee. He kind of gave me a hard time about it when I first, told him about what I was doing. And, I finally got him to buy a bag, and he took it over to his mom's house, and, they were making the coffee, and, she's like, what is this HODL fuel stuff? What's that all about? And it prompted a conversation about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So, that right there is exactly what I want to do. And, I don't only want to have coffee within our community, but I want people to be able to purchase my coffee, give it to a friend or a family member, or when they have people over to their house, or, go to an event on Thursday night and have it prompt and start a conversation. So just, kind of one of the little sort of ideas I had with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Heck
awesome.
yeah,
I
it does.
didn't even think about that with the coffee. Like, I'm going to be buying HODL fuel for presents now because
Right?
I mean,
it's a conversation
it's so cool.
starter.
Yeah, I never thought about that because, like, that we see HODL fuel and we immediately know, like, we can gather that it's crypto related, and the context is there for the coffee side of the fuel and all that. But somebody else, if you're sitting down, like you just said, like with a family member or friends or something like that, and you're having coffee, and you're like, yeah, this is HODL fuel coffee. They're like, what the hell is HODL fuel? And so then you get to explain the HODL thing and all that, and that'd be cool. You can get them into Bitcoin and start telling them about it and introduce one of the little stories, and that kind of lightens it up from the mafia.
One more I want to put out there real quick. My mom the other day, I sent her a bunch of the single serve pods, the K cups. I can't call them K cups because that's a trademarked brand, so I have to call them single serve pods. But the hair salon that she goes to, they have a little Keurig machine. So I had to bring some in the other day, and the business owner was really cool about it. She didn't know anything about cryptocurrency, but the lady that was getting her hair done was totally into it. So right there again, it started this whole conversation. And for example, with the pods, they're sitting there in the waiting room. Someone goes over and they make a cup of coffee and they see it and they're like, what is this? And I'm going to get a couple books to put down in the waiting area so people can pick it up and, start learning about it. So it works well, I think, for that.
That's awesome. I think we need to start distributing some of those to businesses that use Keurigs, and
that's the plan.
I think I would need a decaffeinated brand, because when I start talking crypto to somebody that's a normie, they look at me cross-eyed because I'm so fucking excited about it, and I'm so like passionate and into my conversation, and like, man, this stuff is just crazy. You wouldn't believe, blah blah blah. I'm just going on, and I'm Italian, so my hands are going a mile a minute. And it's just, they look at me and they're kind of backing up, like, dude, what are you on? I mean, my kids even looked at me sometimes and going, dude, what are you taking? I'm like, nothing, man, nothing. This is awesome. So, I would definitely need the decaffeinated one.
I usually find I have to apologize after the fact for talking their ear off, so I can definitely relate.
I always used to get that look from my wife when I would talk crypto until she got into it, and now she's hooked and she understands. So
cool. Yeah, the first person to bring to adoption is definitely your spouse, because without them, you're just stuck with CT and your buddies. I mean, that's it.
Exactly. Nick, speaking of adoption, have you seen the challenge that we put out there?
No. What challenge?
Uh-oh.
So we put out a challenge for anybody to go out there and either try to get a business to accept crypto, or at least teach them about how it would work, or that it's even possible. Set up a friend or a family member with a wallet, or just explain Bitcoin to anybody. Take a video of yourself and put it on Twitter doing it, and with the hashtag Embrace the Revolution, and start spreading adoption. The whole point is to just try and get people talking about Bitcoin in the real world. Johnny Litecoin already went out and did a video doing it. Got like 5,000 views already. It's pretty cool. He's awesome. So I want to see you out there doing it next.
Absolutely. That's a great idea, actually.
And it sounds like you're already doing it anyway. We just need a video of it.
Right.
I'm going to drive back to New York in a couple of weeks and get it done. So
there you go.
Nice.
Did you see the one from Sunday? J-Mac and myself with the Litecoin and the bar that we went to?
No, I didn't. Wait, tell me about
it was a live broadcast. So J-Mac and I went to this establishment in our home, near our hometown, in Michigan, Ann Arbor. And, we went there. It's called the Session Room, and we spoke with the manager, and we did a live broadcast, and we interviewed a bartender. We set the manager up with a crypto wallet and actually gave her some Litecoin. J-Mac did all that part, and we did the whole thing live broadcast through Twitter, and it was amazing, dude. It was so much fun. And then it was cool because Johnny Litecoin was like, all over that. And when we had our podcast with him and the professor came up with the whole pass the torch thing for adoption, it was just like, it was like that ball started rolling down the hill, And so now here we are. And every time we have our episode and we try to bring that topic up, to start getting everybody to do their part, we, just because we're into crypto, what's the best way to get other people into it other than talk to them about it, right?
Absolutely.
And try and get establishments when you can, obviously, to, take crypto. Like today, I was talking to a friend of mine who works for an establishment that I frequent probably once a month, maybe once every other month. And we go there and have a good time. It's a nice bar. And I was talking with him and I'm like, so have you thought about taking cryptocurrencies for payment? And he's like, well, no, not really. And I think the biggest reason is everybody looks at crypto as an investment, right? Instead of the currency side, like you were talking about. And McAfee even said that as far as, when he was on our podcast, cryptocurrency is a currency. We need to spend it.
Yeah.
So I was telling this guy about if you took crypto as a payment, the fees are almost non-existent when it comes to Visa. So I said, right now you take Visa, right? And he's like, well, yeah. And I said, so how much do you pay a month about in your Visa fees? Over $3,000-5,000? He goes, oh yeah, more than that. Just in your fees. And he goes, yep. I said, so if you could eliminate those fees and take that same money and leave it in the investment side of cryptocurrency and take the rest of it to pay your expenditures, why wouldn't you want to do that? And he's like, wow, he's like, you're looking at that way beyond just taking the payment. I said, well, it is way beyond just taking the payment. Think about that. Take that fee that you're paying Visa and invest it and put the rest of the money in your pocket. He's like, that's brilliant. And so I need to get more literature myself so I can help this guy set this thing up, man. I'm excited about it. So, it's everybody doing their part.
Well, I think this challenge is a great way to do it. That's awesome. That's incredibly awesome. And you're definitely on point about the fees are just so much lower. And that's one thing I'm learning as a new person to business is the fees are much lower with crypto versus credit cards. And there's a lot of problems with credit cards that, Johnny Litecoin, I'm sure you probably talked about on your show, as far as fraud goes and the high fees and chargebacks and just all that crazy stuff. So,
yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's incredibly easy to get set up and start running a business with crypto as compared to setting up a merchant account. I mean, that's getting easier too with, things like Square and stuff, but it's still much easier with crypto. It doesn't take you very long to set up, like, just say you want to set up an online website of some sort. You can use WordPress and then just use like a coinpayments.net plugin, and within minutes you can have a store up and running and accepting payments, and you don't have to deal with like PCI compliance, and you don't have to deal with any of the fees or special identification needs or anything like that. And so it's so cool to be anybody in the world can just get something set up and start running a business right now with basically no money up front or none at all, but just a few dollars for your website and your hosting and stuff, and off you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to Johnny Litecoin, one of the good points he made to me too is like when you talk to these businesses, show them that just the attention you'll get alone from the community might be worth, adopting it as a payment method. It's really free, social media. So,
right. Like I said last episode, it's a whole other revenue stream that they're totally missing out on.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And then when Clint Westwood came out and did the West Coast Bar Challenge, on Twitter, okay, West Coast bars, look at it like this. you start taking Litecoin or cryptocurrencies for payment, we might fill up that bus with a bunch of people and come and visit your shop.
Absolutely.
You better make sure you got a stocked bar. It's fun. It's definitely fun.
It is fun. Absolutely.
So that custom AeroPress that you posted a picture of the other day, did AeroPress make that for you, or did you have somebody else customize it?
No, so I was looking through AeroPress competitions, and I noticed they actually have like a worldwide competition. I had never heard of it before, but I definitely want to do it. So
never heard of that.
It's actually it's pretty cool. But some of the folks had like customized AeroPresses. So I found the guy on Instagram. He's in Australia, and I just messaged him, and I'm like, hey man, like I have this brand in the cryptocurrency space, and I was kind of hoping, could I get a cryptocurrency themed AeroPress, and he put it together for me. So it was pretty cool.
Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw that, I went on to AeroPress's website, and I was thinking about ordering one. I'd never used one, so I kind of looked them up to figure out, what they were. I just always made my coffee the old school way. So, and I noticed that I couldn't pay with crypto.
Oh,
have you talked to them about that?
On AeroPress's website?
Yes.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That does surprise me.
I know. It doesn't surprise me either, but that needs to change. We're going to have to get a hold of AeroPress.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's probably some smaller retailers that would definitely be on board with that. That's actually a good point. So
totally.
It makes a great cup of coffee there.
So
I'm looking forward to trying
it. Is that like a cold press?
So basically what it is, it's essentially just it's a press method, but have you guys had French press coffee before?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so it makes a very bold, sort of robust cup of coffee, but just the way it's designed and the time that the water's sort of, immersed with the grinds, it's very low acidity. It's a good, strong, bold cup of coffee. It doesn't have that grit that you're going to get with a French press. So it's just incredible, and it's super easy to clean. It's awesome. Great for travel too.
So tell us more about the competition. So is it just a bunch of people get together and see who can press coffee better, or how does this work?
So I don't know a lot about the details. I know it's like people from all around the world that come together and they have a recipe that they put together, and the judges, they try it and see what they like. Outside of that, I really don't know a whole lot more, but I'm gonna look into it and hopefully get to it and be the first guy with a crypto themed AeroPress to show up. So that'd be kind of cool.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
You got to videotape that.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, sweet. So usually we ask some, what your dark horse token is, but you've already kind of told us that you're not really into tokens and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not at this point.
Yeah. So is there any particular blockchain or protocol that you prefer from a functionality standpoint? Like something you think that is doing something pretty special that you're excited about?
I'm going to be completely honest. I am not a tech person, so I try and understand as much as I can on a basic level how the technology works. I'm not super well versed in all the different, tokens and projects outside of, the basic sort of currencies. I guess I'm not too well versed in it, to be honest with you.
Gotcha. Well, that puts you more like on the user side and the adopter side and that kind of stuff, which is honestly, in my opinion, a better place to be than, like where I am in the investment side of things, more or less. I still on the build side too, but it's more important, in my opinion, to be using it and, spreading the word about it and things like that, because that's what it was meant for. It wasn't meant for investing. So I think we tend to get hung up on that a little bit too much. So it's actually almost kind of refreshing to not have an answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, really, really what turned me into cryptocurrency was when I started learning about money. And I mentioned this on a show the other day. I didn't know a lot about money or economics before I got into cryptocurrency. When I did get into crypto, I realized how much I didn't know. So, I didn't want to be ignorant about it. So I started reading a lot of books on money and economics. And, what I came to realize is what probably most of us know at this point is that the modern, fiat systems are broken. There's a lot of problems in the world that really come back to money. And, when you look at what cryptocurrency can do in the future, I think it's going to be able to solve a lot of problems that we have right now, especially when it comes to, corrupt, centralized authorities and that sort of thing. I mean, you look at, Venezuela right now. I mean, they're a perfect use case for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And, Anthony Pompliano I remember he was interviewing a guy on his podcast from Venezuela, and, they were talking about how people are actually using cryptocurrency just to survive, So right. I try and understand the tech as much as I can, but not being a tech person, I tend to come at it more from its use case as money, and its potential there in the future.
You touched on a good point right there, when you mentioned corruption. And, sadly, the reality is wherever there is money, there is corruption. So the key is how do we circumvent that? How do we, I know the blockchain is transparent, but yet there's still a ton of greedy, scammy type projects and so forth out there. So, how do we circumvent that? How do we get away from that? Because there's still that factor when money's involved.
That's a really good point. And I think with time, I think no matter what, there's always going to be some level of it. And I really wish I had an answer to say how to get rid of it completely. But I think over time, once the space grows and becomes, inevitably more regulated, I think a lot of that will work itself out and become, more transparent. I guess time will tell, and we'll see where it goes.
So I heard, and I also seen recently that AT&T started accepting Bitcoin for payment for your cellular bills. Did you see that?
I did see that. That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. That's quite a leap, I think.
It seems like there's so many, every day there's a new article coming out about it, so it's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. One thing I noticed is that you can tell when the market shifts. All of a sudden, people start accepting Bitcoin again. Like back in 2017, Newegg and Expedia and all those guys were accepting Bitcoin. Newegg never stopped, but Expedia stopped at one point. And some of those other places that accepted Bitcoin pulled it out of their store because everybody was certain it was going to zero. And people stopped accepting Bitcoin. And then now that the market's picking up, here we are again. And now all these new places are coming out and accepting Bitcoin. And I think it's going to be even more prominent than it was before. We had that crash. Everybody thought it was going to die. And now here we are. And I think this is just the validation that was needed to reassure these people that wasn't the end. For the majority of people that haven't been in the crypto space, that was their first crash. Most people weren't in 2016 when it went up and then dipped back again, or in 2013, or in 2000, what was it, 10 or 11 when it first hit like $100. And it's really, really putting the nail in the coffin on the fact that Bitcoin can't go to zero anytime soon. Anyhow, there's still a lot of life left in it, and so all these people are going to start rushing in. And I think the next bull run, because we're just in an early phase of it. When we hit the real bull run, I think it's going to be fucking phenomenal.
So I have a question for you guys. This is something I've been wondering too. When I first got into crypto, as I mentioned, it was 2016-ish. But then I got out of it, and then the big bull run happened and all that. Do you guys feel like this time around is going to be different with all of these new, kind of mainstream companies and investors and things have evolved a lot in a year and a half. Do you think it's going to be any different?
Totally. So, even just this first run that we've had over the past couple of weeks, look at the way it's proceeded. If you go back and look at the charts from November 2017, it was just like a explosion. And then there was 20,000. It had a few ups and downs and all that, but this time has been relatively steady growth. We came from 3,000 and we just started climbing slowly. And there wasn't any real major corrections. We had a few little pullbacks, but there wasn't any like horrible crashes like there usually is on the way up. And we're already, had gone over 8,000 on the way to 10,000. So like, where's it going to pull back? And so I think what's going to happen is we're going to see a longer bull run, like we saw a longer bear market, where it's maybe not such a huge, massive price jump at once, but I think we're going to end up at a pretty astronomical price point over a period of steady growth rather than one massive jump and then a huge crash afterwards. So I think it's going to be different, but for the good.
I would agree with that. I would definitely say that with all the sophistication and the addition of AI in trading, I think over the last year, we've seen a lot more artificial intelligence trading bots on exchanges. So I think that in itself is changing the landscape quite a bit, which makes it more challenging for the human to try and trade effectively. So yeah, it's definitely going to be different. I think there's going to be just as much manipulation for the time being when it comes to volume and when it comes to price. But I think at the end of the day, like the professor said, it's going to keep going up. It's just going to be more steady, solid growth, not so much fake. And you have to say fake because you look at it, how fast it hit 20 grand and how fast it was gone. So that wasn't true, solid, fertilized growth. It was just hype, right? So I think we're a little past that hype stage now, and I think there's still a certain level of hype, but I think it's more of yeah, this is here to stay. Let's really get into this.
Definitely, there's going to be a hype train at some point, and I think it's going to be after Bitcoin hits 20,000. There's going to be all the news articles are like Bitcoin hits new all-time high, and that's when everybody gets in. And so there's going to be a point where there's this huge amount of FOMO from everybody that's been hearing about Bitcoin over the past 2 years. Now that, all of us are here and it's bigger than, like, exponentially bigger than it was the year before. And so all those people, they're going to come in, they're going to FOMO. There's going to be a big sketchy dip right there. But the thing is, the difference is it's going to catch support faster, in my opinion, because of all that institutional money and all the big corporations and the improved infrastructure and just the increased level of belief sustained by people that are actually using it. So, it's going to be nice and slow growth, and then we're going to blow up for a minute on some FOMO. Some people are going to lose some money. There's going to be a period of correction, but then the growth is just going to be insane. It's going to be solid and it's going to be steady, and I'm looking forward to it. And whether it's Bitcoin itself, I'm referring more towards like the whole crypto market, because I don't know what Bitcoin is going to do, but I feel like the growth rate of crypto is going to be just kind of like a big, solid, steady, incline for quite a while. I don't think it's going parabolic for a couple of years.
Yeah, I think we're setting ourselves up right now for some nice, healthy, sustained growth, and that's pretty exciting. And I've kind of noticed, maybe you guys have too, you start getting the people that you talk to about Bitcoin that aren't into it. I got a phone call the other day from a family member. Hey, I heard about Bitcoin in the news, and another friend kind of mentioned it to me too. So I think it's slowly starting to kind of trickle back out into mainstream at this point. See where it ends up.
100%.
Well, Nick, it's been awesome having you on the show. We could sit here and probably talk some crypto for quite some time. It's interesting to hear the things about your business and how how you got set up with crypto and your, the entrepreneurial side of it. And man, it was cool having you on the show. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate your time, and it's great to be able to start to connect with people and build those relationships and get the word out there.
Heck yeah. So I got one question before you go. And I'm almost positive you haven't seen it, but you probably haven't heard of the rap battles that we do on Friday nights, have you?
I'm maybe seen something floating around on Twitter. I'm not familiar with it.
Well, if you don't have nothing going Friday about 6:00 Eastern Standard Time, check us out. Come on to Twitter and just kind of see what happens. We do our rap battles on Friday nights, and it's a lot of fun.
You guys really live stream it?
Yeah, we live tweet it. Everybody tweets their, throws tweets out, and it's challenging to keep up for sure. But it's a big time, man. It's cool. A lot of fun.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Absolutely.
Heck yeah.
Check it out and throw down and see if you can rhyme a little bit.
Right?
Oh man.
You know, the beauty is
It's
we
a
don't
good time.
judge it, and we've had some unique ones come out, man. Some new people show up, and it's like, wow, where were you guys at?
Oh, you know who's
So
good
it's
at
been
that?
a lot of fun.
Litecoin Moses on Twitter. Have you guys-
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good with. He's got some raps he put out there too, and then Crypto Capital Venture, he put out a couple good ones. Seen those.
We'll throw some invites out, man. Come see us.
Absolutely.
Come check it out.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be a big time.
That sounds good.
Sweet.
All right,
It's been
brother.
good having you on,
Hey.
man.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
too.
Have a great evening.
Later.
Well, man, I'm definitely looking forward to picking up some of that Huddle Fuel coffee.
Oh, absolutely. I could definitely use some of that stuff in the morning. That'll be cool. And hopefully he gets some espresso soon because that's like my thing.
Oh yeah, it was really cool to hear the thought about giving out the K cups to that business, so they were sitting there in the waiting room. I never really thought about that, but it'd be kind of cool to just get a couple boxes of them and just kind of take them to a few local businesses that have those coffee makers, and people see it and then they want to know. So I don't know. I like it.
Just as a
It's
conversation
interesting.
piece.
Yeah. I mean,
You
there's
know?
not a lot of crypto conversation piece things out there. I mean, there's a lot of merch and stuff like that, but
Right.
most of the time people don't really stop you and ask about your t-shirt anymore. You know, It's not
No,
one of
they
those things.
don't.
But
But if
now
you had some
they're-
kick-ass looking coffee cup and it said Huddle Fuel on it, they'd be like, what's that?
well, have you seen the proof of coffee mug?
No, I didn't.
It's fucking sweet. It's like, it's like proof of steak, but proof of coffee.
Oh,
That's kinda cool.
nice.
Yeah. it's
My
awesome.
wife would like that one, actually.
I think I'm gonna buy it.
That's cool. Heck yeah. Right on. Right on. I might look that up myself. That sounds
There you
fun.
go. Well, hopefully he chimes into the rap battles. It'll be kind of cool to see, get some more new faces in there.
It would. I mean, we already got a couple new people coming that I know of, so I'm looking forward to them. But yeah, there's been a lot of new people showing up, and I'm looking forward to this Friday. This Friday? That's like tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll start stoking on that as soon as we release this. So as soon as you guys are hearing this, you'll probably already see some Mitch's posts in the morning. Oh,
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
absolutely. So guys, we say it every time. We'll say it again. We do this for you guys. If there's anything you see, anything you hear that we could do differently, please, by all means, let us know. This show's about you guys. This show's about bringing you some things that you might find interesting. Some of you might not, but at the same time, we're just two normal guys having normal conversation with normal people trying to spread the word.
And if you guys want to come on and hang out around the campfire with us, you're more than welcome to. Just send us a DM. We welcome everybody. We just want to hear all your stories and figure out how you got into the crypto space and what you're doing. And the diversity, like we talked about earlier in the show, is incredible. So we want a little bit of everybody. So don't feel or don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Please
We'd like
don't.
to-
Yeah,
we'd like to talk with you.
absolutely. Sure, we will. We'd love to have you on the show. I mean, everybody's welcome. It's like, how many people do you really run into on a daily basis that know about crypto, right? So that's why we do this, so we can all
Yeah.
talk it
Exactly.
and share experiences. Everybody's got a funny ass
interaction.
experience.
There's none of it in real life. Nobody knows
No,
what crypto
none.
is. We're so early. Like nobody knows. It's crazy.
Right. You find yourself in starvation mode for crypto talk.
I know, right? So I'm so glad we started this podcast. I get crypto talk like 2 or 3 times a week. This is the shit.
Yes, it's awesome. And
guys.
it's going to spread like
This has been-
wildfire.
Oh yeah. I can't wait. It's great. All right, guys. It's been awesome. This was a cool podcast. It was great talking to Nick. I'm looking forward to the coffee and my mug. Proof of
Heck
coffee.
yeah.
It's coming.
Proof of coffee.
Proof
All
of
right,
coffee.
guys. You have a good night. We'll see you tonight at the rap battles.
Catch you guys later.
Peace.